Hello, guys. My name is Strife, and welcome to another video. I hope that you guys are okay and everything is fine in your life. And I am pretty okay. Thank you for asking. So, today we are beginning a new series called Strife's Opinion on Something. Yeah, so in this series, I will give you my opinion about, yeah, you guessed it, something. It can be a new game, it can be about politics, it can be about cars, whatever I feel like talking about. Also, it can be about topics you propose in the comments down below, so don't be shy. Let me know what you want to hear my opinion about. So, as you may know, World of Warcraft is one of my favorite games of all time. I spent thousands of hours playing this game and I just can't seem to be tired of it. Despite all the recent issues with Blizzard, namely the lawsuit and the grave accusations of toxic work environment, sexism, and abuses against female workers, I still love that game. And World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King expansion is my favorite, and I think that I could easily play that game forever. So, when a longtime friend told me recently to try out the Warmane Icecrown server, I couldn't refuse. An important heads up. I know Warmane is a private server. I know they aren't legal providers of World of Warcraft servers, but I want to remember that I have a World of Warcraft subscription that I use for TBC Classic, so I'm supporting the company. Plus, Blizzard doesn't actually provide World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King servers, so I think that I am excused for playing on Warming. But tell me down below on the comments if you think that I shouldn't play on this private server. I would love to hear about it. So, without further ado, let's go into the topic. So, Icecrown Warmane server is a fun server. It has 7 times experience gain, professions and reputations are also buffed. A curious fact is that it seems this server is the largest in population in all the private servers seen. And I have to say it probably is true, because as soon as I log into my account and try to log into the server, I get a queue. Yeah, a queue in a private server. Who would have told? I later discovered that if you donate to the server, you can skip the queue, so maybe the queue is just a way to force you to donate? I don't know, but it's possible. We have to keep an open mind when we are talking about World of Warcraft private servers. When I finally get to log in, I decide to create my first character in this server. For my first character, I decided to make a rogue. More precisely, an undead rogue. My friend is a horde character, so yeah, I decided to go horde also. As usual, I named it Strife PT and boom! Here we are on Warmane. My friend gave me 100 gold as a gift so that I don't start from scratch, and after that I began my adventure. I don't usually play horde, and it's been refreshing to level this character. The server is populated and it is usual to see players, high level and low level alike, roaming around starter areas, so by the first few levels I can say there's definitely an active community here. Plus, global chat is always busy. The majority of it is people trying to sell characters. We'll address this issue later on, But you have a ton of people trying to sell other stuff also, trying to form groups, bugs, all that kind of World of Warcraft related stuff that you are used to. I did a little bit of everything so I can have a solid first impression on the server mechanics. What I can tell you is, so far, all quests I did were working as intended. Professions, in my personal case, skinning, leatherworking, cooking, fishing, and first aid, are working as intended, though in a much faster state. Random battleground tool finder is working, and even as a low level, I entered easily to a Warsong Gulch game. Combat feels, how do I say it? Tricky. This is an issue that I feel on almost all private servers, especially 3.3.5 ones. The best way I have to try to explain this to you guys is that the combat doesn't seem fluid. Sometimes your abilities and auto attack will be performed as intended, other times they won't. They will either be too fast and seem that you are doing two or three things at the same time. Other times it won't do any animation, but you'll hit your enemy and deplete its HP. It isn't game breaking and it isn't the worst I have seen so far, but for me it's a flaw. But I'll get a few more hours on this and see if it gets better or worse. PvP is not fun at low levels if you are not geared. Yeah, the server is fully progressed and there are twinks everywhere. I think that the only guy who was not a twink in the game I played was me. So, as you could easily imagine, I got wrecked big time. Despite the times 7 rates, you'll have to pay gold to learn your abilities and spells, and you'll have to discover all the flight points by yourself. At least until now, I wasn't able to unlock anything without clicking the flight master of the given zone. The cities, and in my personal case, Undercity in particular, are always full of players and they seem quite alive. Something I can almost guarantee you guys, even with only a couple of hours play so far, is that you'll never feel like you are playing on a dead or dying server. Progression wise, I gotta warn you, it will be fast. Times 7 means if you are really trying to speed level, you'll hit max level in a breeze. That's not my intention, so I'm taking it slowly and methodically, leveling my professions at the same time. The only exception to this was when I decided to try the random dungeon finder tool, and my oh my, it was messy. Dungeons. Let's talk about dungeons. Well, I decided to use the random dungeon finder tool and I was prompted to enter a dungeon after roughly 20-25 minutes tops of being in the queue as a DPS for a low level dungeon. Not bad. Not bad at all. It usually takes a lot of time, or you won't even get a group for low level quests in most servers. So 20 minutes as a DPS is not bad. I think that maybe a tank would get an insta pop or something like that. But let's talk about when I entered the dungeon. I was taken by surprise by how fast it was. Maybe it's because I'm used to play World of Warcraft Classic and Classic TBC, but this RDF was a bloody mess. We had a tank warrior and a warrior DPS, and they just AoE'd the mobs down with thunderclaps so fast I couldn't do a proper rotation or even hit a mob more than 2 times. It was a speed run, we never stopped, the healer had to manage the best she could, and I was prompted so much loot at the same time that sometimes my screen was just covered with loot options. So, is this a problem? Well, it depends. If you are looking for a more chill experience, you will have an issue. It seems almost everyone is rushing to max level, which means that the fastest way to do it is spamming RDF and speedrun the hell out of it. But if you are eager to reach max level and jump into the endgame, this is a blessing for you. Time 7 experience is just lightning bolt fast if you dungeon your way to 80. So, just be happy, I guess. If you are not rushing to max level, maybe I should advise you to keep to leveling via questing, because yeah, it will be faster. Don't get me wrong, it will be a lot faster than on retail. Not retail, but World of Warcraft Classic or TBC Classic. But it will be a lot slower than the random dungeon finder. Last but not least, the elephant in the room. Is it pay to win? Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people are selling fully progressed and best in slot characters in the world chat. The server has a donation points shop in which you can trade real money for power. That, despite all the excuses you can give for it, is pay to win. So I'll play a little further to see if this is a real issue or just a nonsense. Until now, it didn't impact my gameplay whatsoever, but I'm still far away from the end game, and PvP is expected to be a twink fest anyway in a fully progressed server at low level, so I'll have to wait a little bit and play a little more to see if this is really an issue. All things considered, so far I can say my experience has been pretty positive. I'm having fun leveling my undead rogue, and it's refreshing to see a server that is vibrant with so many people playing on it. I didn't have issues that are game breaking, and to be honest, the combat bug is not that bad. So, to wrap things up, I consider this to be a good server. If you are low on playing time and if you want to experience Wrath of the Lich King like it was back in the day, this is a great server for you. Sure, you have a cash shop and some pay to win mechanics that could be a let off for those really old school players, but you can bypass all this if you like and enjoy the game without paying much attention to this detail, especially if you are focused on leveling and maxing out professions. I'll play it for a little longer and get back to you as soon as I have seen more of the server as the levels progress. So this is it, guys. This is the end. My name is Strife, and this was my first impressions opinion on Icecrown Warmane server. Hit the like button and subscribe to help the channel grow, because it will be much appreciated. I hope that you enjoyed this little video. Stay safe, have fun, Strifes out, peace.